that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
The night time is the right time. Remember what I told all my drivers? Reach up there and pull those belts tight one more time. Drivers, start your engines!
There are moments that surprise and delight the mind and the senses. Introducing Sound Art, the world's first truly customizable, concealed, flat panel art speaker system. A revolutionary combination of incredible sound delivered from your most meaningful pictures. When art and technology intersect, there is a seamless blend of creativity and function.
I'm there in the streetlight, pulling at the stars in the moonlight. Every time I feel you close.
With Sound Art, anyone can print their own artwork or pick from numerous licensed artwork that we have. The possibilities are limitless. Enjoy beautiful and amazing sound throughout your home. The entire surface of your artwork generates incredibly robust sound. Your art never sounded so good.
Butt Kicker. Feel what you've been missing. Get yours today at thebuttkicker.com and be sure to use our 20% discount promo code ISCA20.
So starting on pole position for us here tonight will be none other than Chris Severa with Al Kozlowski on the front row. Kenny Powell will be rounding out third place with Gary Adamson down in fourth. You got Eric Kling in fifth, Greg Wyszynski with the last driver to set a qualifying time here tonight. From there, it is going to be the likes of Josh Schaffner with Joshua Gaith right beside him, as well as you're going to then, of course, have Paul Olson and Kenny Thompson. And, of course, rounding out the 1-12 car grid will be Ryan Strunk and Frank Flores. So the field rolling now for the first of two pace laps here on the night then, Al. And I picked Severa as my bet to keep an eye out for a race win tonight with how good he's shown in the past to be on tracks like these. Who's your take to win this one tonight?
I'm not doing it. It's still too early. There's 249 laps left. There's no way I could pick a winner for this thing, man. I'm gonna have to defer my option until the last lap. Then I'll let you know who I think is going to win this thing.
Well, fingers crossed we make it that far, and now the field is cycling around for the second time tonight. And obviously, we want to thank everybody for taking the time to join us for more amazing ISCA Tucson Sound Art Cup Series racing action. The field is stacked up, doubled up. We're ready to go racing here tonight. Kozlowski's already pulling ahead. He wants to get a drop on the field. Chris Severa, though, holding back, wants to keep him honest. And so we come around through turn number 4, and we say, let's go racing in Virginia. And Kozlowski has been black flagged out of the gate. He's lost control and he's into the wall. And the yellow's out, and Olsen collects him as well.
Not sure what all just occurred right there. Looks like Chris Severa, the Iceman, cometh again, because he saw that Kozlowski was going to try to get a run on the outside and totally just, stop the field. Essentially, aren't they teammates, Nolan?
Well, they certainly are, and that makes it all the more embarrassing for that one. That is not an ideal situation, as slides around and noses it in the outside wall, and nowhere for Olsen to go. And go ahead.
Just somebody who just really didn't need any more bad luck. Paul Olsen just comes right in and he pancakes Kozlowski. And the irony of that also is, aren't they teammates now?
They certainly are, and I think the worst part about all of that is Kozlowski stalled the car, so he not only has a black flag for jumping the start, he's not only got major damage from that crash, but he's also a lap down after just one lap to top it all off. And to kind of give you an idea of exactly why he's a lap down at the moment, if we could look up all the way to the start, you'll know why in a hurry. You have to stay behind the race leader up until the iRacing green or until the leader goes, right? Now, Chris Severa, he held speed. He did exactly what he needed to do. Kozlowski was 4 car lengths in front of him by the time the iRacing green fell. And he never slowed down to get back in the line.
And even one more thing to consider, he'd already passed the start-finish line before Severa even brought the field in. That's automatically going to get you a nice little black flag there and a trip down memory lane, I guess, right?
Yeah, absolutely. That's a very good thing to note. And is the fact that Kozlowski was already at, if not past, start-finish line by the time that green flag fell, really just driving it home about how really unnecessary all of that was. And I think Kozlowski got a little bit flustered when that black flag came out. He now finds himself at the tail end of the field. And I have to say, I think this might just end Kozlowski's chances on being able to go for a race win here tonight. Frank Flores, by the way, has taken to the pit. Well, he hasn't even taken to the race at all. Neither has Joshua Gaithright, and Olsen has retired the car. So already, we've lost a quarter of the field in just one lap.
Yeah, that was pretty bad. But I think Kozlowski we're just doing a whole lot of thinking here, right? But I believe he was just tremendously frustrated with what just happened. And I don't think he was just frustrated with his teammate, but I believe he was frustrated with himself as well. So him hitting the wall, if he just didn't hit it real hard, though, he would have had an opportunity to maybe bring that caution out to keep him from maybe losing too much time under that black flag, maybe. As we get ready to go, green flag racing here. Looks like the base car is off, and Severi going to get us a chance now. This time, not wasting any time. He actually got a good lead right there, so now he's going to go ahead and drive it on home into one. Powell tucking nicely behind him there. I think we're going to be able to get, oh, no, the 22 car just lost it, and he's going to kill a cone right there on the exit of pit road.
He's going to be fine. Kozlowski comes into pit road. It was a no harm, no foul type of situation. Kozlowski into service penalty. That's going to lose him at least one more lap, if not 2. Meanwhile, battle is on for third on back to about the 6th place. Ryan Strong takes the inside from Josh Schaffner after Schaffner cleared for the 5th position. Out of turn 2, Strong's battling back out of 4 and down the front stretch. The 77 going to pull clear. Potentially, Schaffner trying to hang it high and wide around the outside line. Of course, Schaffner went through and was able to get himself a podium in the Thursday night race. Looking to see if he can't do a repeat on that and go one better for a win here on Saturday.
Yeah, absolutely. We hadn't seen Josh Schaffner in the Saturday series for quite a while. He'd, I guess, been on a little bit of hiatus, but it's good to see him back tonight and in action. I'm pretty sure that Strunk's not going to like having him on his back bumper there all night. You know what I mean? So it's good to note that we are racing, and then Keselowski now coming back off of pit road. Looks like he's going to be right there in time to catch the leaders before hopefully he'll have to fight to not go yet another lap down. Now, the good news for Keselowski, if things could remain the way they are, he is definitely a shoe-in for that lucky dog, at least to get one of those laps back at the end of stage one. But Severa just really closing the door on him there. Nolan, I don't know if he's really going to even give him breathing room.
It's a very, very close fight so far all throughout the field. The top two certainly starting to pull away from not just each other, but the rest of the field as well. Keselowski, out from his penalty, is now 3 laps down, at risk of going 4 down. He still has damage on the left-hand side, or the right-hand side, I should say, where he was nailed not just both by the wall, but also by Paul Olsen. The real fight of the moment is from Eric Kling, Ray Wachinski, Ryan Strunk, and Josh Offner, 4th through 6th, and especially those 3 cars are where we need to look at for the time being. The Grindstone Stump Grinding 77 Chevrolet trying to run down that DuPont Chevy of Wachinski just up in front of him. You've also got the Plenish machine of Josh Offner right behind him, and the Lena's just traded hands as well.
Yeah, Nolan, well, I think what happened here, now we're going to have to go back and take a look at this, but Severa attempted to put Keselowski a lap down. Those two made contact, thus allowing for Kenny Powell to come up and take the lead, and Al to to live yet another day, to fight another day, if you will.
Should probably see if we can take another look at that one, because Severa's gotten quite a bit of front-end damage on his nose as a result of that one, and I can guarantee you that will make it that much harder for him to try to battle against it here. We're going to watch this as we're coming around through turn number 1, and going to take a look at this one kind of from the top-down view. Keselowski actually goes defensive in a 1. Severa tries to cut it in and just ran him over, and that's why he was so out of shape, and that's where he lost the lead to Kenny Powell, and that's given damage to Chris Severa. Keselowski pulls it back into pit road, and I have to say, it is not a very pleasant night out there for the Speedway Angels crew, and now that's put Severa, as we mentioned, behind Kenny Powell, and with an uphill battle now to climb. And it is worth noting that Keselowski was 3 laps at risk of going 4 down as a result of that one. Emotions likely running high. Didn't expect it to get this dramatic, though, this early on.
Well, you know, Severa showed him the bumper.
Oh, trouble!
Wachinski goes around, and Strunk actually gets into the back end of that number 5 car. That is going to bring that first caution out for us, if we could actually see that. But, yeah, it just got a whole lot of wiggle room there.
Second caution of the day. It's already been 2. The first one on the opening lap. Wachinski just tried to defend, and I think Strunk clipped the curbing in turn 1, and that just slid Wachinski up, and then you saw Schaffner just with nowhere to go run over the both of them. So it was a 3-car melee in turn number 2. Look at this one here. That's exactly what it was. Clipped the curb, washed wide, and nowhere for Schaffner to go. Good news is not a lot of damage, and Strunk did a great job on avoiding the water barrels there. That could have been a lot worse for Ryan Strunk.
Yeah, well, maybe not a lot of damage done for Strunk there, but man, Schaffner took a big wallop to the nose there on his car. Definitely not going to make him feel better. And to add insult to injury, Keselowski, who would have been the benefactor of that lucky pass, was actually in the pits when the caution came out. So no lucky dog for him today, Nolan.
Oh, boy. It's been a much more eventful start than the Thursday night race was. Now, granted, we had a caution at around lap 25 on Thursday night as well, but that was only a 1-car spin. This was a 3-car spin. And on top of that, this is already caution 2. We've already had one driver retire for damage, 2 didn't start the race, 1 got penalized, then made more contact with the race leader trying to keep her going another lap down. It's almost a what on earth is going on out there on the racetrack. Wachinski comes to the pit road, so does Strong. I imagine both of them for damage repairs.
Oh, absolutely. Wachinski took a pretty good shot there as Strunk kind of lost it on the apron. But, it just kind of goes to show you got to really have your head on a swivel because accidents can happen anywhere on the racetrack. I mean, it's kind of unfortunate that we've had so much melee in such a short period of time, especially when you put it to your mind that the leader even kind of got in contact with a lap down car. That's something that in most scenarios, no one's going to be happy about that.
So under caution for the second time tonight. Let's take a quick step away, and we'll be back with more from Martinsville in just a few moments.
Ow. Ew. Ow. Ew.
Want relief from tough pain without the tough taste? Try Goody's Cool Orange. Goody's fast, Goody's delicious. Because pain relief shouldn't be a pain to take. Goody's flavors, taking the pain out of pain relief.
Back straightaway, Powell is in the lead. This has given the opportunity for Chris Severa to try to fight back, so I'm pretty sure he's not going to be complaining over Strunk's little error that put us under caution flag number 2. And we'll see if that 62 machine can potentially put itself back up into the race lead where no doubt he wants to end up. Green flags back in the air, and how about that for matching the restart? Severa still alongside in the dash to turn 1, but Powell clears as they enter turn number 1. Adamson way up the hill, and he'll lose 2.
Yeah, definitely. He did slide up the racetrack right there. Not sure what's going on, but at some point we're going to have to caution our drivers.
Oh, no! Severa's going around, and no caution for that one. But all of a sudden, Severa's lost all of his spots.
Yeah, once again, we're going to say drivers are going to have to settle down a little bit because otherwise we're not going to have any cars left to finish this thing, Nolan. As we see Severa right there just tried to overdrive it into the turn there. Right there on his teammate. So, yeah, unfortunate for him, but he was actually able to save it. Not too much more damage, but those tires aren't going to like that.
It's been a very maddening start to this race to the point where you haven't even had time to talk about the stage cautions, which we're already halfway through stage 1, which comes to a close at lap 50. The second one coming to a close at 100. All of this action that you've been seeing is in the first 30 laps of a 250-lap race. I'm at a bit of a loss for words, to be quite frank with you.
Yeah, I mean, and the lights hadn't even fully come on yet, so it even makes it that much more amazing.
Good gravy. It's just a sort of moment where you have to start wondering what's going to happen next. There'll be 20 laps to go in stage 1. Time is starting to run out if Eric Kling wants to try to attack Kenny Powell. Of course, you've got the likes of Chris Severa just trying to do damage control for the time being, and he's trying to just work his way up through the order, and now has to get by the likes of Al Kozlowski. Severa, of course, lost it by himself out of turn number 4, and he will this time lap Kozlowski again, and unfortunately not for position, but he might have noticed he's already up to 7th, did get by Gary Adamson some time ago, trying to run down the likes of Kenny Thompson, who's just a few car lengths up the road.
Well, might I be like the optimist here? So if you look at this with an eye squint it and cross to another eye with a fogged up lens, you'll see that even Paul Olsen stands to get 1 point for the end of stage 1, and he didn't finish but 1 lap of the race. So that's the good news in that.
Battle is on for 4th place. Ryan Strong trying to attack Greg Wyszynski yet again.
Yeah, hopefully we'll see if he'll actually be able to get by Wyszynski with a little bit more grace this time than the last time. If you remember, those two actually got balled up, and that actually even involved Josh Hoffner, who is running in 3rd with a rather beat-up car. I think he's going to be pretty impressed just to be able to be making pace like he is. Just a very bizarre start. I'm still kind of trying to get my head wrapped around it because we're not through stage 1 yet, and I'm trying to calculate just how many cars we got on the track that have not been in some type of damage, and I don't think there is one.
The answer is yes. I think that's an adequate answer to your question there, and I'm looking through, and honestly, Kenny Powell, Eric Ling, the top 2, and Gary Adamson. Those 3 cars out of the 10 that started are the only ones that have not been involved in an accident tonight.
Well, Severa did actually bump Powell a little bit there on that last time that he lost control. So that put a little ding on that 2-4 car's right bumper or left bumper.
I believe Severa just got his way up and past Kenny Thompson. So Severa looking to charge up a little bit more, and that puts him in a 6th place, and not too soon. Once again, time is running out. He has now just 12 laps to go in the stage, and now he is a good way back. We're talking about 2 seconds from Ryan Strong. Do you think he can run that down in just 11 laps here?
I don't know. It'd be interesting to see what you got to even probably date his tires by a couple of laps due to the amount of lost traction that he had in that first stage. So, yeah, but he does have a fast race car. You know, the only car I think that was maybe as fast as he was during practice would have been Keselowski, but now his car being pretty much taken out of any possibility of winning this thing, I don't think there's going to be enough cautions left to get him even back up to the lead lap.
Josh Hoffner is starting to close up on Eric Ling in the fight for 2nd place. That's the Plenish Chevrolet trying to go up against the T-Mobile Ford Mustang. This is down to the turn number 1. Hoffner has got a bit of a hit himself. Can't remember where he got that contact from. Actually, check that. Yes, I do. That wasn't caution number 2 when he ran over Ryan Strunk, who was trying to check up for a spinning Greg Wyszynski when the number 5 DuPont Chevrolet got punted around. So Hoffner doing really good, all things considered, despite a bit of a knock on the front end, and he is trying to see if he can't pressure Eric Ling into a bit of a mistake.
Yeah, that's exactly what he's doing, and, you know, he might actually even be successful, but the one person that's going to benefit from this is going to be Kenny Powell, because as Schaffner closes the gap on Mr. Clean, Kenny Powell's just running away with this thing, and he's not wanting to bring it to anyone's attention. Because right now he's like the kid with all of the candy, you know what I mean? And I don't think he even wants to see a stage caution, nonetheless any other kind of caution, because he's got a pretty good shot at running away with this, Nolan.
And he does, and so far Kenny Powell not showing any signs of slowing down. Now Eric Ling has been faltering somewhat in his overall pace over the little while. That's what's allowed Sean to get right to the back bumper. And look at how much he's trying to pressure him. Looking left, looking right, trying to find a way through. This is what you like to see, right? He is looking to find some way, any way to get through. But I tell you what, that number 95 car not about to make it easy. Oh, leaves the door open, though, in a turn 3. Schaffner hops over the curb, but he's going to take the 2nd spot away. Can Eric Ling fight back down the front stretch? I think Schaffner's got him in a 1.
Yeah, Eric Ling just making certain he did that and overdrive that number 95 T-Mobile Mustang in that corner, you know. And the interesting thing, last week we kind of saw the same thing with Ling, where as the stages went on toward the end, it was almost like he fell a lot off. So it looks like it's a little bit more indicative of the same kind of pattern he had last week, Nolan.
Yes, indeed. So we'll continue to see if Ling can't fight back. But I think now that Schaffner is clear for 2nd place, could be an easy time for him. This pit road is closed. 1.5 laps left to go in stage number 1.
Yeah, wow, that was a very, very eventful stage one coming to a close there with Kenny Powell now displaying a commanding lead over the field. So now we're going to go into stage two, and I have no predictions for stage two. I'm just going to hope that it starts and ends better than stage one. Kenny Powell now bringing that 24 Gas and Go Chevy around one last time to be our stage one winner.
Powell will win the stage, just waiting now on Gary Adamson to cross the line, which he will right about now. And now the yellow flag flies for the opening stage. Typically we would go to commercial break here, but since cautions can go by quickly, as can the yellow flag pit stops, we're instead going to let this one wait out just a bit more, and we'll take a look at those yellow flag pit stops before we head on over to our usual break. So Kenny Powell lefts up, jacks down, trying to beat out Schaffner. This could be close, but it's Powell to win it out of pit road, but only just. I'll tell you what, Schaffner nearly had him there, even though they both took 4 tires in field. That tells me Schaffner was just that much better getting out of the box.
Yeah, we've seen Schaffner win that battle off of pit road again before. So keep that in mind, though, because as we get ready to go through the second stage, and then we're going to get into that third stage, getting in and off of pit road is going to be the key to actually being able to win this thing, because no matter what, these guys are going to look at it, green flag pit stops, right, once we get into that third and final stage. And I said we'll talk about it when we get there, but if you watch them now and how they were actually pitting, I think that's just going to give us a little bit of an idea, because you cannot afford to get that black flag here, Nolan. You cannot afford a mistake on pit road.
So now that we have had the pit stops completed, it is time to take a quick step away. And we'll be back with more, though, here from Martinsville, Virginia, in just a few moments.
There are moments that surprise and delight the mind and the senses. Introducing Sound Art, the world's first truly customizable, concealed, flat panel art speaker system. A revolutionary combination of incredible sound delivered from your most meaningful pictures. When art and technology intersect, there is a seamless blend of creativity and function.
I'm alive in the streetlight, pulling at the stars in the moonlight. Every time I feel you close.
With Sound Art, anyone can print their own artwork or pick from numerous licensed artwork that we have. The possibilities are limitless. Enjoy beautiful and amazing sound throughout your home. The entire surface of your artwork generates incredibly robust sound. Your art never sounded so good.
Greg Wyszynski in control of the field as we come around to start stage number 2, early launch. And that DuPont Chevrolet is going to be clear and green with the race lead. You're probably wondering how on earth did that happen? Wyszynski stayed out while the field came in. Powell's going to attack him now into turn 3 for the lead.
Yeah, it really is not it's gonna be for naught if he can't pull off that one lap to get that 5 points, and I don't think he's gonna be able to do it. Kenny Powell now goes back, gets his lion's share of this race lead with Schaffner tucked right behind him on the inside. Chris Severa now finding himself back up to the front there. He's also going to go by Wyszynski and find that for that third place position, along with Eric Klein coming up the back door as well.
Eric Klein trying to fend off Wyszynski, and they almost made contact into turn number 1. Strunk's going to attack as well. The 77 Chevrolet going to go up the inside of Wachinski, following Kling through. Down onto the backstretch, you can see Wachinski trying to stop the bleeding, but it's just not going to happen. Kenny Thompson goes through. Next in line, Gary Adamson. So it's at the point now where I think Wachinski's got to start just managing those tires. He knows he's not going to be in any position to really fight them out. I would honestly just say, let Adamson through. No point in trying to do battle if you can't stay in front and you know you're going to lose that spot anyway.
Yeah, and I think, he had already changed his tires, so he took the gamble of staying out. So I'll ask you now, do you think it's worth the gamble of staying out on tires there now, Nolan?
Absolutely not. I know that a lot of drivers so far throughout the week have been saying that tires just don't mean all that much at Martinsville. Well, what we've been seeing so far really does beg to differ. I mean, the tire wear might not be that bad as what it was previously, but it is still very much present, and when you're on 50 lap older tires compared to everybody else, you're going to feel it.
Yeah, so if you look at it right now, Mr. Wachinski's got 41 laps on his tires, okay, because when he went in under that last, when he got bumbled up, he replaced his tires. Now, to me, that goes to prove and further prove a point that once we do get to the third stage of this, you're not even going to have to, it's not even going to be an option, I guess. You're going to have to take tires. Just the amount that he has fallen back from the field. We got the 62 car Severa losing it right there coming out of turn 4, but actually able to save that car and keep it going.
Able to recover. Thank goodness for that, but it's those little twitches that everybody so far is very, very concerned about, right? Because it doesn't take much to send these cars around. So you have to kind of wonder how long will it be before one of those little twitches gets the better of one of these guys. And the longer you go on one set of tires, the more of a risk that factor could become.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Severa has already self-spun at least twice. Even the 22 car kind of self-spun there early on. So it is that you have to drive these cars. There's no point where you're going to actually be able to kind of take your mind off of it. If we could maybe let's ride along with Kenny Powell. I'm interested to see if he's actually started downshifting or if he's actually still just running this thing all around the board.
Downshifting into the second gear, and I think that's of no real surprise, right? They want to be able to get as much acceleration out of the corners as possible, so they kind of hover it around that second gear, it would seem, which is a bit interesting. You typically see these guys using either a fourth gear or fifth gear setup. Very rarely do you see 2-gear setups actually paying off, but that seems to certainly be the case. And kind of look at all around the grid, and does seem to be. Well, I mean, you got Gary Adamson running the fourth gear setup, but Powell's running in second gear. Schaffner's in second. Kling is second. Strunk, Severa, Thompson are all in third gear setups. It's interesting the diversity you've got throughout the field.
Yeah, and I think that's what I was looking at, because and what's going to happen is as that rubber gets laid down on the track, you'll see it get darker, and it gets darker. You adjust the brake bias, and it's going to be interesting to see if they're going to be able to stay in that second gear setup like that. It seems as the tires become more and more worn, the car becomes looser. Does that make sense?
I have to agree with you on that one. It's the looser it gets. Obviously, you can expect the track to be that little bit warmer as well. And how about Ryan Strunk looking to really apply the pressure now to Eric Kling's T-Mobile Mustang, and this is just backing him up into Chris Severa as well. So if Strunk wants to break away from Severa, he has got to get past Eric Kling in a hurry here. But I imagine Kling really not going to make it easy for him.
Yeah, but I don't think Severa's going to actually wait on him to move, if you know what I mean. As he now drives on the inside there of Mr. Strunk to take that position away from him, now he's going to go ahead and battle on up into that fourth position.
And you are absolutely correct. This could prove to get a little bit interesting here. If well, now Kling's starting to break away, and you saw Severa get past the likes of Ryan Strunk. So seems like Severa's wanting to go on the offensive here a little bit more. Of course, he was up to second place at the top of the stage, but he has since slipped back a little bit, and now he is just trying to regain lost ground. And I can appreciate this, right? He's doing his best to try to see if he can't find his way and get up there to the front of this field. He's got a long fight ahead of him, though. If he could just get by Eric Kling, who knows? Maybe he could try to get his way through to the front of this thing, but so far, Eric Kling really being a thorn in his side.
Yeah, and like you said earlier, he was actually all the way up to second place, or right behind Kenny Powell and in front of Schaffner. Something happened, and he found himself all the way back down into sixth place, and now he's fought his way all the way back up. Now, if Severa's actually able to keep his car clean and keep it running, you know, in that right line, he will be okay. But you still got to watch out, because as we get through this series, you know, it's just an accident looking for a place to happen. We've seen Kling fall off tremendously at the end of the stage. Now we're halfway through this stage, having ourselves about 25 laps to go, I guess. Well, some 20 laps to go before we actually end this stage.
Yeah, so the fines will continue on. Coming up, 20 laps to go in stage number 2. The laps really do just fly by in a hurry, and you can see on the leaderboard, we're down to just 8 cars of the scheduled 12 that were set to start in this race tonight. Only 10 actually made the start. Both of those cars are now in pit road from the bottom 2. Everybody else still running out here on the lead lap, and everybody in the field has got some kind of a ding or a scuff on their machine, so nobody has had a completely clean race tonight, except for maybe Gary Adamson. Severa takes the inside from Eric Kling. Out of 4, he'll take it at 1 to go up to the podium.
Yeah, like I said, it was just a matter of time, and I was interested to see how clean that pass was going to be between Severa and Kling. Now, Kling's still not over, because he's got Strunk closing that back door on him, trying to take the 5th place position away.
Kling's going to make that easy for him. He swung way wide, saw Strunk coming, and just decided to move up high and just let him through. Didn't want to waste time fighting that one out, so Strunk's up to 4th. But now Eric Kling can take a breath, because it is a good straightaway back to 6th place. And Kenny Thompson is under some fire from Gary Adamson. You've also got Greg Wychinski in 8th, who, as we mentioned before, on the old rubber after he stayed out under the stage 1 yellow.
Now, the interesting thing, though, his tires probably feel a lot better now than they did when they were cold and he was actually starting that stage. I mean, because the heated tires will actually handle pretty good. So he found that balance, and I think it leveled out. But, yeah, I think that's going to answer any question that we might have had about tire strategy. I think you just got to get tires whenever you get a chance. So make those 5 last while you can, but I think that's the answer to winning this thing.
And fresh tires are absolutely king at a track like Martinsville, a track that can just degrade those tires of just the littlest mistakes. That's the thing about Martinsville, right? It doesn't degrade tires that bad when you're in optimal conditions, but as soon as you start making those mistakes, making those little tank slappers, that is where it really starts to chew up tires. Thompson's going to pull to the inside and let Gary Adamson through. Makes that nice and easy for him, and I have a feeling that maybe Thompson got a bit sideways, a little bit crossed up out in turn number 1 as well, as he immediately tried to battle back in 2 to get back by Adamson. Adamson overshoots 4, and that lets Thompson close up about a car length, but not enough to really make it matter.
Yeah, and the thing, too, that we have to be cognizant of is it's going to be one of those little skirmishes like that that could potentially bring out a late stage caution. So even though it seems like everybody's still spread out to 4 corners of this racetrack, and it seems like we got racing going on at least on 2 of them most times. Now Powell still running very good lap, so I think he's found a mix there. So now this one is slowly getting done. I think we got 10 to go left in this stage for these. I know there's one person that's going to be really happy to get this thing over, and that's probably going to be Mr. Wachinski. I think he just will be happy to come in and get him some fresh tires and another clean start at this thing.
Fresh tires and a clean slate is obviously what some drivers would be more than content with at this moment. So we'll see how this continues to kind of let itself play out. Severe, you have seen, closed up in this fight with his teammate Josh Schaffner just in front of him. And now, can that number 62 Ford Mustang get himself up in front of the Flemish Chevrolet? There is under 10 laps to go, so if he wants to get that third position or the second position for the stage, he's going to have to make a move here fast.
Man, speaking of making a move fast, Wachinski, man, he's just having a hard time right now because he's got Powell right now coming up in his rearview mirror, so he's got to be looking at this stage lap saying, come on, man, throw that caution, guys. Just get this guy off my back, because if there were maybe 2-3 more laps left in this thing, he very well could be going a lap down. So I don't think that's going to be the play that he wants to make anymore.
Tell you what, it's been a much calmer second stage than the opening one has been. Obviously, stage one was just full of non-stop calamity. It has been so much better, though, now here in stage number 2. We've also got Kling and Strunk in their own little fight. That is for the 4th position, and they are now nose to tail, just like the top 2 are. And in fact, Kling looking a little bit more aggressive to get around Strunk, and I have a feeling it's because, unlike the second and third place battle, these two are teammates.
Yeah, Roger, I know, but I don't think teammates has really made a big deal here tonight, because, I mean, record's record. I don't think it really matters if someone's your teammate or not, as we even saw that on the first lap. 3 teammates getting all up together, taking each other out of the almost out of contention. So but we knew these two were going to be battling it down to the wire here, as looks like pit road is getting ready to close, and we're coming to 2 to go in this stage.
Two laps to go in stage number 2. Fights on for 7th place, and Kenny Thompson has taken the inside from Adamson down the pit straight. And now Thompson is going to go through up into 6th. Adamson falling back to 7th. Then Wachinski putting him under heavy fire for 8th as well. Right behind them, you've also got race leader Kenny Powell, who's going to come around through turns 3 and 4. Powell will win the second stage of the night. There's no move made for 2nd, no move made for 4th either. So it's just going to be between these last 3 cars on the track for the battles that have yet to be decided.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, one thing that the 5, the 36, and the 22 will agree, this stage could not have ended soon enough for any of them, because they're all 3 in danger of actually going a lap down to the leader as caution does fly, and that's going to end stage 2 for us. That's going to put Kenny Powell as your stage 2 winner, as well as your stage 1 winner. Josh Schaffner securing that 2nd place, with Chris Severa securing 3rd. Eric Kling, 4th place. Ron Strunk's going to be in 5th, with Kenny Thompson in 6th. Gary Adamson in 7th. Greg Wachinski going to be in 8th, and Al Koslowski and Paul Olsen are off the racetrack at this time. Getting ready for yellow caution pits.
Powell leads them down in a pit road, and this time nobody dares to gamble and stay out. Now, it was a very tight race between Powell and Schaffner out of pit road the last time through. I wonder, could it potentially be a similar story, or will Powell have a bit of an easier time getting out of the lane this time by? up on the left side of the jack. Schaffner's already off and away, running down Powell. It'll be close again, but this time not close enough. And Powell once again bests the number 50 car out of pit road.
Now, hopefully, Nolan, this will be the last time that we actually will have a caution under a yellow flag condition. Hopefully, if the racing gods smile upon us, it's completely dark here now. Now we're truly doing some night racing. Hopefully, we'll be able to actually get this thing done so we can exercise our right to green flag pit stop. So that's what everybody should be hoping for. But in the meantime, let's go ahead and take a step away for a word from our sponsors.
There are moments that surprise and delight the mind and the senses. Introducing SoundArt, the world's first truly customizable, concealed, flat panel art speaker system. A revolutionary combination of incredible sound delivered from your most meaningful pictures. When art and technology intersect, there is a seamless blend of creativity and function.
I'm alive in the streetlight, pulling at the stars in the moonlight. Every time I feel you close.
With SoundArt, anyone can print their own artwork or pick from numerous licensed artwork that we have. The possibilities are limitless. Enjoy beautiful and amazing sound throughout your home. The entire surface of your artwork generates incredibly robust sound. Your art never sounded so good.
Kenny Powell's in control. Josh Schaffner is just a nose ahead. Got to get in line, though. Doesn't want to do what Kozlowski did. It's an early launch from Powell, and we're back to green flag racing here in Martinsville. The top three already single filed out. Adamson takes the inside away from Kling into 1 and 2.
Yep, it'll be interesting to see if the drivers actually get in single file, put some green laps down for this stage, or if they're going to go ahead and run it like they stole it. So, you know, and the reason why I say that is this is going to be the longest stage so far. They're all just, right there. Looks like Gary Adamson got right into Strunk, but both are going to continue to go, and there will be no caution. Not what either one of those two guys wanted, I guarantee you that, because that's just going to make it suck that much more for them trying to get up to the front and make this thing competitive.
This is a bit of an interesting one, and we're going to look at this one here. A bit of a block, and then I think Strunk got a little bit loose, to be quite frank, and there is no yellow for that. But if you get a look on board with Strunk, I think that'll tell the story perfectly, because watch the wheel. I have a feeling that that car actually got a little bit loose. Yo, yeah, he did. He tried to turn it out of him.
Yep, he definitely did. Looks like it, because it kind of looked like he had a little bit of contact earlier from Wachinski, but he didn't. But yeah, he just kind of got a little loose. And meanwhile, there's that 62 car is putting the hammer there on old Kenny Powell, making him work for his lead. Powell probably definitely needing to have some pressure put on him, as he's been running pretty much stress-free here for a while, Nolan. So now that he's got that 62 Mustang of Severa in his rearview mirror, that'll get his blood pressure up just a little bit.
And he was almost looking for a move into turn one a couple of laps ago, and so far, Severa has not had the best of runs in trying to get around him, but hey, being in second place is certainly a start. So we'll continue to kind of see how this one plays out. Severa looking for it down the back straightaway and into three. Not going to get there. This time by all power, misses the corner in 3 and 4. Severa's going to pull alongside. Can he make the move into one? He's going to try to go for the lunge. Powell gives him room. And I think that'll be a done deal then for Chris Severa, who's going to go back into the race lead.
I don't think it's a done deal. I think Powell was just trying to get his car stopped and trying to turn back in on the inside. I think he's going to come back. I don't think he was just really ready to give it up yet, no.
And now Powell will have to try to battle back. We'll see how this continues to kind of play out. We've also got the fight between Kling and Schaffner right behind them. It's really a case of who wants to make the move first, and when you get to all these individual little battles here now that we're getting ourselves a little bit deeper into these long green flag runs. And remember, this is where we could be seeing green to the end of the race, especially with only 8 cars out there on the racetrack. And we're not even halfway through this race, right? There is still 134 laps to go in this race. That is a long time, to the point where there's 120 laps on the fuel window. They have to make at least one more pit stop before the end of this race.
Yeah, and you best believe that their crew chiefs and the spotters, but especially the crew chiefs, are telling those guys exactly how many laps they got left, because you don't want the guy to get out there and start running this thing like there's 10 laps to go. They have to pace themselves, because if they don't, they'll find themselves even in a more unique pit strategy. So pit strategy, I think, is going to be the thing that makes the biggest difference on this. It's going to be when you pit, because if you elect to stay out there longer, because say if you're like Powell and Severa, you know, you're just out there running. But if you're back in the back, like say Strunk and Wachinski or Adamson, you know, you're probably going to have a shorter pit window now, because you know you might have had a little bit more damage on your tires. So what are you thinking? You think everybody's going to come in around the same time, or you think that people are going to actually mix it up a little bit, so we'll have 2 or 3 different pit cycles going on?
I think we're going to be seeing people mixing it up. That was the case on Thursday night. Unless it was under caution, nobody came in at the same time. And even then, you still have people kind of in their own little cliques, right? That you're not going to be seeing everybody coming on in at the exact same time. Everybody's going to want to try on their own little strategies. And if there's ever a track that is good for strategies in a green flag run, it's Martinsville. So who knows? This could potentially be a very entertaining race for us here tonight. Things have already started to spread out quite a bit more. You can see Eric Kling, Chris Severa still in their own little, Eric Kling and Josh Schaffner. So used to saying Severa at the moment, but they're in their fight for third. Severa still trying to pull in from Powell for the lead. So you've got these 2 individual battles that are both starting to separate out a little bit. You've also got the back 4 kind of in a long, dispersed little train, but they're not necessarily as close as any of those battles are between first and second, as well as third and fourth. Oh, there it is. Kenny Thompson misses 3 and 4. That's going to let Ryan Strong get through, and Thompson loses it, somehow keeps it out of the wall.
Yeah, Thompson's actually had quite a bit of trouble actually making it around 3 and 4. That's probably the second or third time that he's kind of self-spun like that. No, I'm going to say something. It's going to be pretty controversial. People that are listening will be like, what is he talking about? But here goes. Martinsville, being the shortest track on the circuit, is akin to Talladega, the longest track on the circuit, in that it's a crapshoot as far as who wins this thing.
I'm not going to lie. After seeing the Xfinity Series and the Truck Series races, I can't say you're wrong. It's pretty accurate, in all honesty, with your assessment there, and it's a bit of an interesting kind of note to think about. I think Talladega is a little bit more of a crapshoot, because that really is, you have to have like 50% luck, but Martinsville is really the track where you can really get down and dirty with it. You can't really do that anywhere else. I mean, even look at Bristol. You're not realistically making a good old-fashioned bump around working at Bristol without dumping the guy because of the high speeds around there. You can make it work, though, at Martinsville.
Yeah, Martinsville's just, man, I don't know. It's just it's a driver's track, I guess.
That it is, and a dang good one in that. It is, of course, one of the OG tracks, and one of the most famous ones as well. And you still have a lot of series that run here on a regular basis, and it's what you like to see, right? I mean, Martinsville, clearly a track that is loved by competitors, It is loved by spectators. It's honestly fantastic, but it is also a track that is feared by iRacers. Whenever they see it on the schedule, it's one of those things that just wants to make you kind of hang it up for just that week and wait, because usually it's a huge threat to your safety rating, right? You can't, I mean, it's very hard pressed to get a race where you'll get more than 5 laps green at a time. The ICA, though, you don't have to worry about any of that, much less the safety rating.
And I think that's the exact reason why I have not turned to one single race lap in Martinsville this week. You know, last week, Richmond, at the end of that thing, it felt like I'd been fighting Muhammad Ali. It was just, I was defeated, man. So back-to-back short tracks, that was just not what I was looking forward to. What about yourself?
Personally, I'm not one for racing anymore. I used to do a lot of races on iRacing in the first couple of years I was on the service, but I've taken up a lot more of a caster role at this point in time, and I don't do a whole lot of races. I was a little bit tired of honestly running the opens, and I just never had the dedication to be able to properly jump in and race on the regular in a league. I'm definitely more of a casual racer, right? So I will, by all means, do a lot of racing against the AI. I'm not really one for racing against other people on the sim. I find it kind of hard to trust a lot of them from time to time, you know?
Well, that's not what we need there if we're going to try to do marketing for iRacing now. I find that the drivers in iRacing are probably some of the most professional and most pleasant people that I've come across. This is April, so I can get away with it. Just a little white lie, right?
It's a double-edged sword. It's a very much double-edged sword. You'll get some of the ones that are a bit out there, but at the same time, you are correct. You obviously get the people that will do this professionally, and you also get those people that, you know, are genuinely very, very pleasant folks, and it can be one of the most welcoming communities, assuming you can get into the right community, right? And every little track and every little car on the service has its own little communities, right? I mean, obviously the stock car racing scene, that's where it's really at for a lot of drivers out there. But even look at it elsewhere. I mean, the Legends, they have their own little dedicated crew. Look at the vintage F1 cars. They have their diehard fans, as well as the old IMSA cars, like the Nissan GTP ZX-T and the Audi 90 GTO. Those are, of course, 2 cars very fun to drive, but you're hard-pressed to find a populated race with them nowadays. But obviously, you'll get those races where it will be at capacity, because you get those drivers that just love to race those and nothing else, and they made a little gentleman's agreement that they're going to race on those nights at those times. It's what you love to see, right? Everybody is so passionate about their own little things at these races, and there's a little something for everybody, honestly, on the service nowadays, especially with the introduction of rallycross and the like.
Yeah, the rallycross, the hill climb, the dirt track, and then we got the Brazilian GT cars. So for me, I mean, I'm an oval racer. That's what I do. But I still haven't found my niche. I just do a little bit of everything. If that makes sense. Do dirt racing. I do the dirt road, and I do some road racing. So yeah, a lot to do there on that sense.
I know what you mean. I absolutely know what you mean. I mean, sometimes it's good to find what you want to do, but for the more casual people, there's nothing against trying to just go out and think about something else. Maybe go out and try a few new things. I mean, hey, at the end of the day, it doesn't hurt to go out there and give it a little bit of a whirl. Still green on the racetrack, and so far no changes in position have been made. Got Severa and Powell in the fight for the race lead, and that's starting to really get close. We'll keep watch on this. Still got Schofter and Kling, then Wachinski, Strunk, Thompson to round out the field. And Severa not about to let Powell have this one easily, but Powell really starting to apply the pressure to the number 62.
Yeah, I told you, I didn't think he was really ready to relinquish his lead. And Powell, for the first time so far of this Tucson Sound Art season, is looking like he could, you know, he has an opportunity for a hat trick. So who wouldn't want to do that? Severa had more than his fair share of hat tricks. So I think Powell's definitely want to be the spoiler here for him tonight and take that 24 G&G Camry to winner's lane. But still a lot of racing to go, Nolan. I mean, that's the big thing that we gotta hit on. We still got green flag pit stops ahead of us. Just, you know, right now with 107 laps left in this thing, it's still anybody's race. I mean, anybody could spin out. Anything could happen.
Those top two are definitely the closest of the battles that we got on the track for the time being here. And I think, though, Kenny Powell is starting to miss the mark a little bit. You can see how much Chris Severa started to break away. So how about that fight for the final step on the podium? Eric Kling still trying to get around Schaffner, and I tell you what a night it has been for G&G. They've got cars locking out the entire top half of the field at the moment.
Yeah, that team is pretty strong, especially barring any other major team presence here tonight. That's really going to allow those guys to really kind of sweep it up. But hopefully we'll get some more competition back in here for them as this season wears on. You know, seems like the presence is a little low here tonight. I'm not sure what's really going on with that.
Well, things are starting to open back up again, and it is worth noting that it is the Easter long weekend this coming weekend. So a lot of people have decided to go out traveling, right? It's going to be lower attendance. People are starting to swing out to go visit family and the like. So it's understandable why we're not going to be seeing as many people here tonight as they get set to prep things up for Easter and the long weekend in just about a week's time here. So I think we can expect to see around the same kind of population next week as well, right? Lower car numbers because people aren't going to be here. Obviously, things are starting to open up again all over, not just the U.S., but worldwide as well. So they are going to be having a lot of people that are just wanting to go out and just chill with friends, especially as the weather starts to get a little bit nicer too, right? I mean, it has been pretty rough the last month or so for a lot of places across the states. But as the weather improves, no doubt, people are going to be wanting to go out and take advantage of the sunshine before the fall comes around and just dumps you back in the rain.
Yeah, this will probably prove to be one of the best summers on the record as things are getting back to normal across the world, actually. Even though, there's food prices, gas prices, still got some people in a pickle. Just feels good to be able to get out and move about,
The pain of gas prices, $2 a liter where I'm at, so that's very pleasant right now. But thankfully, the Corollas don't use all that much gas, so don't have to worry too much about that one. But hey, it's I feel for the people that drive the F-150s.
Yeah, well, this guy here has an F-150 and it's supercharged, so.
Oh boy, have fun with that.
Yeah, so she's actually just sitting outside in the driveway,
Oh dear. Still waiting on when these green flag pit stops are going to come on up. Of course, we went green all the way back on lap 107. We're now running lap 153, so about a third of the way now through the third stage on the night. I think we can expect to see some drivers looking to split this one up half and half, which means we'll be seeing them starting to pit about 25 laps from now, give or take.
Yep, Roger. But as the 22 car and the 36 car, which is you both find themselves getting ready to fall victim to coming a lap down, it will be the first two drivers. Well, right now the 22 car is going to be the first driver that is actually on the track that is not on the lead lap, but looks like Mr. Adamson is getting ready to suffer a similar fate as well.
Gary Adams is going to move up and out of the way, let Severa through, and he'll have to let Powell through quickly here if he wants to avoid being put under fire by Kenny Thompson. Right behind him. Oh, look out! Adamson around, comes to a stop, but he's going to get it rolling before the caution can wave. So no yellow, we're going to stay green. I'm pretty sure that is not one thing that Gary Adamson would have wanted to see, though. He would have loved to see a yellow flag right about then.
Yeah, if he could have bought one, I think he probably would have. But I don't think anybody else wanted to see that because that probably would not have done what they needed done anyway. So still a little bit premature for that caution. But, because nobody's going to want to do 100 laps on these tires. That's just the bottom line, right?
It really is a question of how far do you want to go on the tires, as well as this Eric Kling just got by Severa. You saw the overtake in turn number 3. Schaffner, I think, missed the mark a little bit, and he allowed Kling to just sweep right through. So the T-Mobile Mustang going to put itself up on pole position, or up into the podium, excuse me. Still a little bit out of it would seem, tonight, as this race gets deeper and deeper into its run, and we are, of course, well past halfway, and under 100 laps left to go now. But still a very long way to go from Martinsville.
Yeah, Kling actually has found a little of what he was looking for, because his lap times have been far more consistent during his third stage as they were during the first and second. Because remember, I said that in the first and second stage, it seemed like he kind of fell off with his speed a little bit. Well, not only is he consistent, he was actually able to get by Josh Schaffner right there and take over that third place position. So that's going to prove to be a very, very valuable move if he's actually able to stay in that position.
So you reckon we're a bit far enough in that you got your choice on who might be a good one to go for to win tonight's race?
No,
or
sir.
are you still undecided? You still want to wait till that last lap?
No, we're going to wait there for a while here. We're going to defer our odds. Got to get through the green flag pit stop, because that's going to be the kicker, man. You know, you lose these races on pit road. You've heard Big Al say that before. You drive for show, but you pit for dough.
And it is very much true that you can lose these races in pit road very, very quickly, and obviously that's something a lot of drivers are going to have to be very, very concerned about throughout the course of tonight's running as we continue to get closer and closer towards the end of this race. Already, there's only 6 cars left on the lead lap, and obviously there's another 2 at risk of going a lap down before too long here. I'm starting to think we're only going to have, at this rate, about 3, maybe 4 cars left on the lead lap by race's end, if that.
Yeah, because of Severa and Powell and these guys continue to find their groove. Yeah, it is going to be definitely, you know, it's just about that rhythm and routine right there at that point. But, you know, the interesting thing is, especially in the service that I notice, people don't practice pit stops, and I tell guys all the time, you cannot wait until you have to pit to try to perfect it. Does that make sense? Because perfect practice makes perfect. That's what General Petraeus used to say.
You got an hour for these practice sessions before the race actually starts, and it doesn't hurt. You have to take 5 minutes to do pit stop trial runs, right? Leave pit road, do a lap, go back into pit road, and rinse and repeat a couple of times just to make sure you get it down pat. Because I think you hit the nail on the head there. You really don't want to find yourself caught off guard when it comes to pit stops. You need to absolutely be on your game, especially at a track where it can be as difficult to enter as Martinsville. Because remember, the speed limit start line is right at the entrance to turn 3. These guys have to slow down from 120 miles an hour to just 35 in about 100 feet.
Yeah, with a car that doesn't really like to stop.
Mm-hmm. You're just putting down the point about how much you really, really need to practice. There is just no way you would want to just leave that to the last possible second. Battle is still on for the 3rd place on the racetrack. You can see Powell you were seeing Powell and Severa running around 3 and 4, and this is on the opposite end of the racetrack. So on just pure pace alone, Schaffner and Klinger are about half a lap down now from the top 2, which tells me at this rate they're going to be lapped by the race end as well.
Yep, absolutely. Probably, you know, sooner than later, because the same way you think that Kling and Schaffner are maintaining pace, or they're actually falling off a little bit more per lap, where Powell and Severa running pretty consistent. I'm thinking that once we get 60 to 70 to go, I think we'll start to see takers.
You think 60 to 70 to go, and that's when we'll see a couple of takers to pit road?
That's what I'm going to go with. That's what I'm going to believe, because, you know, right now these guys have already had 70 plus laps on their tires, So everybody understands how that feels, and you're coming to, yeah, you'll split that difference maybe in a little more.
Powell's caught up to Chris Severa again. Meanwhile, while this has been going on, and the 24 car looking like he wants to pounce to get by the number 62.
Now that's
a little bit of time again.
Well, that'd be the best thing for Ryan Strunk, because if Powell and Severa are battling, that's going to help prolong his life. Looks like we got that 95 car that's already down there on pit road. Mr. Kling is actually coming in. We'll be posting up to see if he's going to get just 4 tires of fuel.
Well, you called it right on the money, right around 70 to go. We'll be seeing guys coming to pit road. Wachinski's into the lane. So is Kling, as you mentioned. Thompson's into pit lane. And Kenny Powell just took to pit road as well. So this is where the battle from the race lead really starting to intensify, right? How does Chris Severa respond to Kenny Powell entering pit road? By coming to pit road the lap after.
Absolutely. How's he going to respond? He's going to join him on pit road. Not going to come out there and get fresh tires on me. You know what I mean? Eliminate that advantage immediately, Nolan. I think that was the right call to make as well.
Schaffner, though, has stayed out while all of this has been going on, so he will now inherit the race lead and put Severa a lap down. So now this is where it starts to get a bit more interesting.
Now Schaffner he's going for that 5 points. That's what he was going for. And, you know, maybe he's just hoping that there will be a little bit of a late race shenanigan that'll help his cause a little bit too. Been watching Josh. He's got his hands full with that 5-0 gas from Go Chevy tonight as well.
He really much has, as Severa leaves pit road, and there is Josh Schaffner right behind, who is now up and in the race lead. So Schaffner will get his 5 bonus points for leading the lap. So the current running order as it stands is Schaffner, then Strunk, Severa, Adamson, Powell, Wachinski, Kling, and Kenny Thompson has left the circuit. So Thompson has actually retired the car at pit road.
Well, I mean, he's going to probably still end up with the same amount of points if he would have continued going. So
You had to drop the ball on them like that? How? Oh my gosh. We're throwing all the shots out here tonight.
Oh, I'm sorry. Was not supposed to be this?
Oh boy. No, it's whoa! Severa with a big power slide in the 1 and 2. I think he might have downshifted a bit too quickly there. He lost control, and that's going to let Powell fight back on him into turn number 1. This is up for the net race lead, and Kenny Powell is going to be alongside with Severa now in the run down to turn 1.
And you know who's liking that right now? That would be Josh Schaffner. You know, who better that would benefit from that than that 5-0 car? But Severa's still not going to be done. Powell's out front, but you know, these two, they're going to be playing cat and mouse for some while. The one thing I think that Severa is going to do, though, I think he's going to park that 62 car right there on the bumper of Powell and just make him uncomfortable. I mean, because, you know, it feels a lot easier when you're actually running and you're not having a look in that rearview mirror behind you, trying to figure out if somebody's going to be trying to drive in on you or come up on top of you. So definitely probably going to like the opportunity to kind of relax a little bit, just give Powell some stress.
Right, so as this race continues to pick up, it's now a big question as to how long can the likes of Kenny Powell keep drivers like Severa at bay. Oh, Severa's going to have a big bobble as Eric Kling going to come back into pit road.
Yeah.
And Kling's retiring. I am at a loss for words. Eric Kling has retired the car.
Well, he did slip some additional laps down, and I think maybe that was just a little bit too much for him to bear.
Oh my gosh. Once again, who would have thunk it? I'm at a bit of a loss at this point in time as to how this race has gone on, right? I mean, this has just hasn't necessarily had the on-track battles, right? But it has had the drama nonetheless. A lot in stage 1, stage 2 went clean, and then there's a little bit more for you. As Schaffner is now left without a competitor for that 3rd position.
Didn't see that one coming, did you?
Ay.
You know, but in his defense, his car was pretty beat up. I mean, it bore the logo about every color of paint on the wall going around this track because, I mean, he'd had a bad night.
So now that everything
wait.
is...
That's the 77 car that's beat up.
Well, in fact, it is. You're right. Ryan Strong having a big slide out of turn 2 and up into the inside wall.
Yeah, so what happened to the T-Mobile car?
I don't know. I mean, he was up. He was fighting for 3rd originally. Wow. Well, we're still waiting on the likes of Schaffner and Strong to both come down into pit road. But seems that's not going to happen for some time at the moment, it would seem. Why don't we take a ride on board with Chris Severa? He continues to try to start to run down Kenny Powell. We'll show you what it's like to run around Martinsville here for a few laps. Well, Schaffner, as you can tell, has finally made his trip down to pit road, as well as this. Greg Wyszynski finds himself now up in third. Schaffner waited so long, he ended up going not one but 2 laps down as you saw him lose the lead to Kenny Powell during our ride along there. So now that puts Schaffner out of the podium positions, and leaves only 2 cars left on the lead lap. And there is a good 3.5 seconds between the 2 of them. Well, I have to say, it's been a unique race so far.
I'm ready. I'm going to go with Powell.
You're going to go with Powell. I wonder why. To say this is Powell's race to lose is a little bit of an understatement at this point in time. I mean, he is 3.8 seconds clear of Chris Severa. That is about half of a straightaway at the moment. So Powell has got nothing standing between himself and a race victory so far. If he manages to lose this race, I'm going to be in total shock.
Well, I mean, you're making it seem like I didn't put thought and effort into this. I mean, there was a lot of choices here. I only had a 1 in 10 chance of even getting this right, Nolan. So, you know, through my deductive reasoning, okay, I've actually ran the numbers on this analytically, and I've come up that the 24 car is going to be the winner. That's it. That's my final answer.
So there's under 30 laps left to go now here in tonight's Goodies 250 from the Martinsville Speedway. We're going to take a real quick commercial break here, and we'll be back with the final 25 or so in just a few moments.
There are moments that surprise and delight the mind and the senses. Introducing Sound Art, the world's first truly customizable, concealed, flat panel art speaker system. A revolutionary combination of incredible sound delivered from your most meaningful pictures. When art and technology intersect, there is a seamless blend of creativity and function.
Come alive in the streetlight, pulling at the stars in the moonlight. Every time I feel you close.
With Sound Art, anyone can print their own artwork or pick from numerous licensed artwork that we have. The possibilities are limitless. Enjoy beautiful and amazing sound throughout your home. The entire surface of your artwork generates incredibly robust sound. Your art never sounded so good.
Ow. Ew. Ow. Ew.
Want relief from tough pain without the tough taste? Try Goody's Cool Orange. Goody's fast, Goody's delicious. Because pain relief shouldn't be a pain to take. Goody's flavors, taking the pain out of pain relief.
Coming to 10 laps to go, 5 cars still on track. It's Powell, Severa, Wachinski, Schaffner, Adamson. Wachinski and Schaffner are the 2 closest cars that comes to one, and lap cars about with each other, but they're half a lap apart. Powell and Severa, the 2 official closest cars on track when it comes to timing, and there's a straightaway between them. We mentioned earlier it was Powell's race to lose. That fact still stands with us being now 9 laps to go.
Yeah, and more importantly, I would just like to take this time to just reflect on how many times that I've been right over this season. So, if you look at me analytically and statistically speaking, I think, Nolan, I mean, did I pick the winner or did I pick the winner?
You picked the winner and the one that did the hat trick as well this race. We thought it would be maybe Severa who'd be able to pull off a win. Of course, he was a good 1/10 of a second up on Kozlowski. He was 2/10 up on Powell in qualifying. But I have a feeling there was that little bit of a ding that he had with Al Kozlowski very early on that just did him in. He just never had the pace after that.
Yeah, well, I thought somebody did pick Severa as the favorite to win this thing.
I don't want to hear it, okay? Listen, we make mistakes. We all make mistakes. I will admit, I think the curse has fallen onto me because every time I pick somebody to win, that doesn't seem to take place anymore. What are you doing to me, Al?
I don't know, but here I am sitting here, and I'm not really gloating because we're still not done. There's still 6 laps to go, so who knows how this thing's still going to end.
And 6 laps at Martinsville is a really long time, all things considered. We're coming to 5 laps to go this time by now, and so far Powell has had it easy up at the front of this thing. Not going to be so easy for him next week, and of course it's Bristol Dirt when we get set to go dirt racing over in Tennessee, and obviously that is bound to be one hectic race as well. 125 lap run, straight dash through, thankfully, well, except for the stages, of course. There are 2 stage cautions, but I don't believe we're expecting to have guys actually make pit stops there on that one.
Man, so are you excited about the dirt race at Bristol, or do you think the novelty's worn off? Where are you at on this?
Oh, I love dirt racing, honestly. It's one of the most exciting forms of motorsports you can get is oval track dirt racing, especially in cars that don't really, they aren't really built to run on the dirt tracks. So I am just as hyped as the next person over dirt racing at Bristol.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how these cars handle on the dirt. I mean, but yeah, super pumped up for it. Hopefully we'll be able to get a good showing for us here next Saturday night. Hopefully we'll have a decent sized field and come out there in this slide, baby, and let it ride, you know.
Kenny Powell's on the back straightaway with 1.5 laps left to go. He's going to come around through to the final corner now, and he will take the white flag for the Goodies 250. This race will end on the regulation time. No surprises there. And Kenny Powell, one stage 1, one stage 2, going for the hat trick. Just has 3 and 4 to manage. Powell scrapes the wall entering 3, but it's not gonna matter. Out of turn number 4, Kenny Powell wins himself a clock in Martinsville.
Now, it's not the big traditional clock that everybody wins. We just want to tell you guys that. But he will receive a miniature trinket of a clock that we got from the bubblegum store.
Josh Oppen's not even going to bother taking to the checker flag. He's going to pull it in the pit road early. And with that, we'll take a rundown of your official post-race results from the Goodies 250. It's Powell to take the race win from Chris Severa, who's 3.4 seconds, along with the only car on the lead lap. From there, it's Wachinski, Schaffner, Adamson, Strunk, with Kling, Thompson, Kozlowski, and Olsen round up the top 10. And obviously, we talked about this before, but Gaithright and Flores not taking to the starting grid, leaving us with a 10-car field, but only 5 on track when it came to the end of the race. What a run for G&G, right? I mean, top 3 lockout for the team. In fact, top 4, the only G&G driver not on the track was Adamson at the end of the race.
Was Kozlowski on the
Oh, no, he bowed out a long time ago. He finished 209 laps down.
And Olsen, yeah, I don't know, as team captain, I wouldn't be really happy with the performance, but, you know, the trophy goes where the trophy goes.
Some very high highs and some very low lows throughout the field. We'll look now in the groupings throughout this race, and we'll kick these off with the first driver that came to join us up here. Chris Rivera joins us up in the broadcast booth. He finished down in second place. Chris, how's it for you out there tonight?
It's not the result we'll take, but we'll try and look at the big picture, and we'll take a P2 for tonight.
Well, you were the only other car that finished up there on the lead lap. That's got to count for something at the end of the day. I mean, an attrition-filled race, especially early on. You wonder if maybe some of the fatigue from Thursday carried over to tonight?
I didn't run it on Thursday. It's the first time for me. I don't know, everything that happened early on in the race, I was kind of fuming after that. But, you run with some squirrels, going to get your nuts busted. So what can you say about that?
Well, when it comes to kind of getting down and dirty, obviously Bristol Dirt coming on up in just 1 week's time. What's your take on the dirt track over in Tennessee?
It's a handful with the new car set, so it's really going to be a driver's track. It's going to be, I don't know. I hope it's not a highline fest like how it was the last time, but it's a whole new car going there. We might be able to do some crossovers, some slot jobs, but I don't know until we get there and get some practice in, but I'm looking forward to it.
I'm looking forward to seeing you there as well. Before I let you go, then here, Chris, anybody you'd like to shout out for that GNG number 62?
Yeah, Gas and Go, Rain Energy, Tucson Sound Art for sponsoring the series, and as always, you guys up in the booth, appreciate you.
And thank you, Chris, for taking the time to join us here tonight. Congratulations on a solid second place. We'll see you next week in Tennessee.
Thanks, guys.
With that, going to move on down to the third step on the podium. We'll save the best for last. And now I'll hand you on down here to Greg Wachinski.
Hey, Greg, this is Big Al up in the booth. How you doing there tonight?
Doing good, Al.
It's got to feel good for you having a third place finish. I mean, this thing really started off kind of crazy there, and it really kind of went bizarre from there. What were your takes on that calamity at the start?
I mean, it happens at this track. Anything can happen. I mean, I had it in cruise control the whole time. Just want to make sure I finished the race. I think I kind of got lucky there getting third place. Josh, I think, pitted a little too late. He was definitely faster than me.
Well, good deal. You got to be feeling pretty good about bringing home a third place finish. So next week we head on over to Bristol, get to play in the dirt a little bit. Are you excited or apprehensive about that?
No, I don't get too excited about that race. I'm not much on driving on dirt, but I'll give it a try and see how it goes.
Well, Roger, that I thank you. But before we let you go, is there anybody you'd like to give a shout out to?
Thanks to you guys for what you do up in the booth, and Rob Melnick and you guys. G&G Racing, Tucson Sound Art for sponsoring everything.
All right, Roger that. You have a great evening, sir. Congratulations again on that third place finish.
Thank you. You too. Take care.
With that, we're going to move on to the final driver on the podium. It is the one on the top step of the podium. Kenny Powell brings it home with a race win tonight. And I believe, Powell, this is going to be the second for you of this current Saturday night season. How's that like for you to finally be back on top?
Man, this is almost like a dream kind of come true. I have never won at Martinsville until this week. I kind of consider Martinsville my home track. I love the track. I go to a bunch of the races. But, man, it just clicked for me this week. This car, this track, the setup, it all worked out this week.
Of course, he got a little bit crossed up in the opening 25 laps or so. Obviously, there was all that drama with Kozlowski, and obviously he checked up Chris Rivera. What was it like for you having to try to wrestle your way past all of that while it's unfolding right in front of your very eyes?
I definitely, this is 250-lap race. I was kind of like Greg. I wasn't all up on the wheel at that moment. I was kind of laid back on cruise control, kind of letting the race come to me, or just be ready for anything. And I was calm, cool, and collective at that moment, and was able to get through that and most everything else without any bumps and bangs. Except for Josh gave me a scare.
In that third and final stage, though, you were in a pretty fierce fight with Severa all the way up until the pit stop window. Were you ever concerned that he might have you beat when it came to strategy to the strategy games?
Definitely all along, I thought Severa was the man to beat. And the way the first two stages worked out, I felt like I, had a pretty good handle on winning the first two stages. The third stage, I was worried about Chris's long run, catching up to me. But there again, I think he was a little faster on the short run. I do think I was faster on the long run. So I never gave up hope. And even when I was behind him, I still had some of the speed, and I turned it on a couple times and got back right up to his bumper. So, yeah, I never lost hope that I could pass him.
Before I let you go, then here, Kenny, anybody you'd like to shout out for that G&G number 24?
Yeah, obviously, Gas and Go, G&G Racing, Chris Severa for helping with the initial set, and of course, Tucson Sound Art, you guys in the booth, Nolan, Al, Rob. Can't do any of this without you. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Kenny, for taking the time to join us up here in the booth, and we'll see you next week, hopefully, at Bristol Dirt in Tennessee.
All right. See you.
Well, that's all the time we're going to have for one night then here for tonight's presentation of the iRacing Stock Car Tucson Sound Art Cup Series. Thank you for joining us for tonight's running of Goodies 250 at the Martinsville Speedway. We'll see you next week when we get down and dirty for more dirt racing action over in Bristol, Tennessee. See you there.